Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Keggernaut, but just call me Keg, and I wanted to bring you a new video about all of the changes that are currently being implemented on the PTR for Guardian Druids. So this is the very first iteration of the PTR, the first patch notes that have come out, so these are very subject to change. Today's date is April 15th. Nothing has changed as of the past 2 days that I believe that the PTR has been up, but just know that April 15th, these are the changes as of today. These can very easily change within the next few weeks, next few months that this PTR can be live. So I wanted to put that disclaimer, but now let's get into the changes. So Guardian Druids have had two direct changes that are both a buff and a nerf. So the first thing is that they have a just flat out direct survivability nerf with the removal of Mark of Ursol. If you look around here all on the spellbook, you don't have Mark of Ursol, Mangle, Maul, Moonfire. Mark of Ursol does no longer exist for Guardian Druids. If you guys didn't know, that was an ability that cost 45 rage that reduced your magic damage taken by 30%. It's just no longer there. So the only thing that you have to spend your rage on now is Iron Fur and Maul. So Maul is a DPS increase and Iron Fur is obviously physical damage only. So how are we going to deal with magic damage? Well, Blizzard believes that our massive health pool that we have for just being a bear, also our mastery increases our health pool, increases our healing received, and the plethora of cooldowns that we have. We've got 2 charges of survival instincts, we have bark skin, and we have rage of the sleeper, and we have frenzied regen, which can also be considered a cooldown. So we have all these things to deal with magic damage that it really shouldn't be that big of an issue. So don't worry about it. Yes, it's a nerf, but I think it'll be fine overall. So we don't have Mark of Ursol anymore. You're only going to spend your rage on Iron Fur and Maul. So, speaking about Maul, the other change that was implemented for this is all about Maul. So we've got a removal of Mark of Ursol and then like 5 different bullet points all about Maul. So let me guys inform you. So Maul's direct damage was increased by just a straight up 400%. Huge buff to Maul's damage. We can look at the tooltip here. Maul the target for 260,000 physical damage. This can vary depending on your stats and whatever, but basically 260,000-ish physical damage every time you press Maul. That is a substantial increase. Before it did like 40 to 80k kind of, it would crit maybe, and it was worth 20 rage. So now, if you guys also notice on the tooltip, it's 30 rage, but a significant increase. So the percent values of the increase from rage, an extra 10 rage versus the 400% extra damage, I believe that's a fair trade-off. We're gonna have to spend some more rage, but we're gonna get a lot more DPS out of it as well. Another thing that they changed was that now Maul can activate Gore. If you guys don't know what Gore is a passive that your Thrash, Swipe, and Moonfires were able to reset the cooldown on Mangle. Now, Maul can also do that. So it's a little bit more powerful. You get some more DPS out of it because you're going to be pressing Maul a lot more often if you want to go ahead and push out some more damage and you don't really need the survivability from Iron Fur. So that's a nice little buff as well. You're going to be pressing more Mangles in general. That's going to be pretty nice. So that's that. Then also another note is that Maul was off of the global cooldown on live servers. So you can press Maul whenever you want. You can press Swipe and Maul at the same time, Thrash and Maul, as long as it's off of cooldown. So it was pretty nice to have, but again, it hit for peanuts. You didn't really care about pressing it because it just did no damage for the amount of rage that you were spending. So that was that. Also, it had a 3-second cooldown on live servers. Now, if you notice in the tooltip, that no longer exists. So basically, to sum it all up, Maul has it costs 10 more rage, so a total of 30. It hits 400% harder. It is on the global cooldown, but it has no cooldown. So overall, pretty significant buffs, I think, in the damage department. Also, it can trigger Gore, which means more Mangles, more rage in general. Very nice. I overall think, these are my personal opinions, that the Mark of Ursol change, while pretty drastic and pretty crazy to just straight up remove an entire ability that had to deal with our damage reduction, was pretty bold, but I think in the end it won't be that big of an issue. I've been following some Guardian Druids personally that have been Mythic raiding in Nighthold, and they have been testing these changes out when it was first announced, and they're noticing on Botanists on phase 3, if they're doing the Solarist method, that if they just don't use Mark of Ursol, yes, it's a little bit harder, because I mean 30% magic damage, that's nothing to shy away at. But in general, it's not the end of the world. On Crosis, you would expect it to be a big problem. Honestly, they said that it wasn't that big of a difference. They have the health pool, they have the cooldowns, they have the extra healing received, they have the tools in order to do this. So, not going to shy away from it. Yes, it is a survivability nerf, but I think in the end, it's not going to be the end of days. Bear is still going to be very, very powerful. Probably not super, super top, depending on what they do with the rest of the tanks, but definitely a contender for the top few tanks, just because of how powerful they are still. Even with that removal, they're still just as good as they were before, with the amount of cooldowns that they have and all of the extra utility. I think Maul, the changes on Maul have been, you know, long overdue. I love the cooldown change. I love the increased damage. The 30 rage might be a little bit much off the bat. Like, it might be a little bit like, wow, you know, that's actually a lot of rage. But I think in the end, like I said before, I think it's worth it. The extra rage for the amount of damage that we can do, I like it a lot. It's going to help bears on their threat. It's going to help bears on their single target damage. Overall, it's going to be very good. Already, they do very good AoE, especially if you have the Lufa Wrappings Legendary. You go with Incarnation, you have positive outlook on your artifact weapon. I believe that it's really, really, really good, and we're going to have a good time come 725. So don't fret, the sky is not falling. One thing to note, we haven't really received any changes in terms of talents. We also haven't received any changes in the form of legendaries. We haven't had any new legendaries implemented yet. I don't believe anybody has. So that's to note. So the early 7.2.5 PTR changes, that's the video. We basically got Maul and Moon and Markiverse all changed. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys would like to see another video, please subscribe. Also leave a like and a comment down below. Tell me what you thought. Also go ahead and follow on Twitch, twitch.tv/Keggernaut. I stream about 3-4 days a week. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.